Hello, Rion.
Welcome. Hello. How are you on this day?
I feel guilty that we don't talk to you more.
What does guilt feel like?
Bad.
Why?
Probably because it's not the right thinking.
It could be that it's just an indicator that you are out of alignment with what is a real thought for you, as opposed to what is an imposed thought given to you throughout your experience from other people that want you to think a certain way about certain things.
Well, maybe it's because I get information from you and I really like you, and so I know there's no time there. I keep being reminded of that, but it just flashes through me sometimes that I feel guilty that we're not talking to you more. I know it's so weird and so human.
So the idea that you're sharing as to not talking to me is actually not true, is it not? We maybe not be doing a transmission session that we're recording, but I do not feel through your time that we are not having conversations with both you and Linda. Is this true?
I feel guilty talking to you because you're her guide.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. So you should.
See, I'm definitely a good example of a human.
You're the perfect example. And we are grateful for that every interaction that we have.
And I know that you're being sarcastic, but a little bit of me does feel that way.
Well, we are not being sarcastic. We are playing around with the feeling of guilt and the imposed belief that is been given to you by other people that you lay onto yourself, and we do find you the perfect example of a human being, and that is our excitement.
Well, you don't think of things and emotions and stuff like that, but yet I feel guilty that you're Linda's guides and not my guide, and so I shouldn't be talking to you.
I think that we had discussed this through one of our transmissions at some point, and we did point out that we are not necessarily Linda's guide. We are like a visitor, that we are learning through her and sending information through her.
Right.
That we were there as we're going to use the word Trinity, but we want to say a threesome.
Right.
And that just means my collective that I chat to, that I am part of, that I converse with of 77 being represented as one, known as Rion.
And I love you and I love Linda so much that maybe the guilt comes in because it's a program of what I may have thought of love was supposed to be.
Yes, it can be connected to that strong, heartfelt feeling of what we are going to call more unconditional love. And that does feel strange to a heart that's been wounded and that has been protected by a necessity at different points throughout your experience as a human being. But I also do see a propensity towards the feeling of guilt being something that you have some form of recognition or familiarity with. So it comes to you very easily, even if it's not based on truth, which we know it isn't most times. Because as we'd spoken before, guilt is simply a reaction more than a response, a reaction to ourselves that we've created for ourselves to say, that doesn't feel good doing it that way, I'll do it this way instead. That's all guilt is purposed for. But it is mixed in, and there's a cocktail made of guilt and shame, and the two get confused with each other. And those two get confused, and shame comes in when there is a bit of self-sabotage coming on, and the idea that to have something that feels good, there must be a punishment indeed following it.
How do I get rid of it?
Well, you can stop the belief around these different things and change your thoughts about it and use different terminology. So using different words when the feeling of for instance, if you like.
Well, when the program comes in now, I've been practicing with just laughing at it, going, yeah, right. Like an interdimensional being would be jealous.
Exactly. We do not have those human emotions, as we haven't set expectations and we haven't set limits for our experiences.
Right. So
with human interaction.
I know it's not real, and then I say something to Linda about it, and she laughs too, like it's not really a thing, but yet it still crosses my mind. But anyway, I have some tools, so thank you.
You're so welcome, and it's also connected to your own limited beliefs and jealousy around breaking your limits and breaking your own contraction of the idea of what you can achieve through your own interactions with your own guides. That it's simply, and we will just clear some energy before we explain this. Sometimes you feel envious or jealous that you do not believe you have a clear connection with spirit or guide. And that gets churned around in the emotions of your sacral chakra, for instance, and can present itself as a feeling of guilt for not doing something, when it really is just based on this idea that you cannot connect and hear messages yourself. But of course, you know this is not to be a truth, because you do connect and you do have messages and synchronicities and symbolism.